What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Smack Talk, where each week we will give you our unfiltered opinions on what is going on currently on Smackdown Live. So let's get right into it with the first highlight of the night, which was the AJ Styles Kevin Owens United States Championship match. Now, this feud's been going on for the past month, ever since AJ Styles won the Independence Day Battle Royal, earning an opportunity, at the United States Championship, and AJ Styles shocked the world that same week, winning the United States Championship from Kevin Owens at a WWE live event from Madison Square Garden. And ever since then, Kevin Owens has been hell-bent on redeeming himself and regaining his United States Championship, and he was able to do that at the Battleground pay-per-view last Sunday, where he won the title back. Now, AJ Styles was able to beat Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho last week in a triple threat match to regain the United States Championship, which set up this week a Kevin Owens AJ Styles blow-off match for the title. Now, the match itself wasn't the worst. It was the two people in this match, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, are two of the best in the company, so they know how to put on a stellar match. The finish, obviously, was a screwy finish. Kevin Owens knocked the referee out by accident, and he was later rolled up for a pinfall, but his shoulder was up, and the referee was unable to see it because of his injured eye. Now, WWE is going this route to garner more heat for Shane McMahon in the eyes of Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens believes that he is being robbed of the United States Championship on countless number of occasions. And in the backstage segment, Daniel Bryan made a match between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens for SummerSlam for the United States Championship with Shane McMahon as the referee. So now at SummerSlam, it appears that, to me at least, that Shane McMahon is going to have some major impact on this match, a potential screwy finish, whether it's planned or unplanned. In his eyes, in Kevin Owens' eyes, it's going to seem like Shane McMahon is screwing him once again, and that will potentially set up a feud between the two later on in the year, potentially at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So now let's talk about one of the low points of the night, and that was the Uso segment. Now, last week the Usos took out the New Day, who were getting ready to celebrate their SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship victory over the Usos at the Battleground pay-per-view. So this week, the Usos came out and bragged a lot about how they took out the New Day, how they were stealing their catchphrases and Uso rocks and all stuff like that, and there was no New Day in sight, which kind of left the fans with a sour taste in their mouth. It wasn't a bad segment, but it could have been a lot better if the New Day was involved in some kind of way, maybe a run-in or just an appearance on the teleprompter, or the jumbotron, and it just would have been a better segment overall if the New Day was involved somehow. But WWE kind of dropped the ball there. But I'm sure next week on SmackDown they will redeem themselves and have the New Day come out and do something that will gain the attention and gain more momentum for this feud with the Usos going into SummerSlam. So the second highlight of the night is Rusev versus Chad Gable. Now, this may seem just like another undercard match just to kill time on the SmackDown Live telecast, but this was the best match of the night in my opinion. It showed how underutilized both men are, Rusev and Chad Gable. They've both been underutilized ever since the brand split, and both men are just so athletic and gifted in the ring that it just comes so naturally to them to have a great match. And Chad Gable definitely earned the respect of many of his peers and many of the fans, because he's been a tag team wrestler up until this point, ever since his split with Jason Jordan a couple weeks ago. And he's definitely earned the respect of his peers. Now, Rusev was able to pick up the win via the Accolade submission, and after the match, he issued kind of an open challenge to anyone who was brave enough and wasn't scared of Rusev to come down, and challenge him for a match at SummerSlam. And he didn't think there would be anyone who would come out, and then all of a sudden, Randy Orton's music hit, and the place went crazy. Randy Orton, coming off his feud with Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship, was in need of a fresh feud, a fresh opponent, and Rusev versus Randy Orton hasn't been seen before, and I think WWE did a great job of filling the undercard of SummerSlam with a great match right here. Rusev versus Randy Orton could potentially steal the show with Rusev's athleticism and Randy's experience. There is the sky is the limit for this match, honestly, and Randy Orton ended the segment with an RKO, which only made the fans happier with the segment overall. Now, the last low point, we're only gonna have two low points this week because the SmackDown show was pretty solid overall. There was a lot of good segments, but there's only two segments that really stood out to me as kind of low points. And the other low point, it's not really like the worst, but Aiden English versus Sami Zayn. Now, it was a good match overall. Aiden English was able to was able to pick up the win via a roll up pin, which was a big shock factor for the fans in attendance and the fans watching at home. Everyone thought this match would just be a squash match just to make Sami Zayn look strong, and Aiden English was able to pick up the win here. Now, that's not the low. Aiden English picking up the win. That's a highlight of the night. It was a shock factor. It made him legitimate. It made him a legitimate part of the SmackDown Live roster. Finally, they're treating him like a real superstar. But the low point here is that Sami Zayn is stuck in a feud with Mike and Maria Kanellis, and there's just no clear purpose for Sami Zayn on the SmackDown Live roster ever since the Superstar shakeup when Sami joined SmackDown. It's kind of just been more the same. He wins a couple matches, he loses a couple matches. It's not like he's on a major push to the top. And WWE needs to realize that he's one of the most popular characters in the company. So they should take advantage of that and give him a run with the in a United States Championship feud or even the WWE title feud. A match with him and Shinsuke Nakamura, if Shinsuke is able to pick up a win against Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, which we'll talk about later, it would be incredible. Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura has already happened at NXT TakeOver last year at WrestleMania in Shinsuke Nakamura's debut, and it was the match of the year in some opinions. So WWE needs to find a correct direction for Sami Zayn and put him on a good path to success for SmackDown Live. And finally, the best part of the night, the highlight of the night, was the main event. Obviously, Shinsuke Nakamura versus John Cena, with the winner going on to face Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Now, this has been a dream match ever since Shinsuke Nakamura debuted in NXT last year. It's been a focal point of his career to come to WWE and face John Cena just one time, to have that experience against one of the best to ever do it. And he was able to do that last night. The crowd hype for this match was unbelievable. There was not a person sitting down as both men made their entrances. This dream match, it was a match of the year candidate, back and forth, high paced. Shinsuke Nakamura, there was imitating, and just, it was unbelievable the way these two worked in the ring. Now, the finish was the best part of the entire match, as Shinsuke Nakamura was able to kick out of an attitude adjustment and then counter an attitude adjustment into his back suplex inverter exploder, if you will, where John Cena landed on the back of his head, and it could have been a drastic injury that could have ended Cena's career right then and there. But Cena was able to recover from that, but he wasn't able to recover fully, as Shinsuke was able to hit the Kinshasa and pick up the biggest victory of his career to date. And now Shinsuke Nakamura will take on the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, at SummerSlam, and looks like WWE is going to go have Shinsuke hopefully win this match and become the face of SmackDown Live in the entire WWE, because he's one of the most legitimate superstars on the roster, having his background in Japan and all around the world. So it was a perfect match, a perfect setup for the perfect moment at SummerSlam, which should be Shinsuke Nakamura winning the WWE Championship. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of Smack Talk. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys could, just like, share, and subscribe. As always, we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys' support. And next week, we will come back with another Smack Talk episode, again, talking about our opinions, the high points, low points of SmackDown Live. And be sure to tune in for the rest of the week to our channel. We're going to have a couple of new videos. I'm sure you guys are going to like it. And that about wraps it up, guys. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you next time.